Somewhere on Earth, someone, if not millions of people, are living life in a never-ending loop. It starts with waking up at 7 a.m., brushing your teeth, showering, eating breakfast, watching the news, and finally going to work your 9 to 5 job. The process repeats itself every day from Monday to Friday until you finally realize that your very existence revolves around one single thing, your job. Whether it's a white collar job, blue collar, manual, or flipping burgers, everything revolves around the sole thing that makes you a living. You notice that your weekends are not spared from your job. You're either working on a Saturday trying to make your boss even happier, or worrying about the upcoming work week on a Sunday. After working, you go out for drinks with your colleagues, and it just seems like an extension of work hours. Anxiety, hopelessness, nausea, and even depression starts to creep in as you finally realize that this is no way to live. Sometimes it takes someone, a song, a book, or in my case, a film, to awaken you to the fact that, although you are alive, are you truly living? For me, Fight Club gave me that wake-up call. The beauty of Fight Club is that there are so many themes to pull from it: mental health, corporate America, masculinity in modern day society, rebellion. But what I personally got from the film was the importance of having a purpose in the midst of the crazy work culture that has undoubtedly become a part of one's self and identity. The story of Fight Club is built upon many complex layers of psychology, life, and concepts that are interesting and without a doubt applicable to our own lives. It presents to us the main character called the narrator, whose very existence is tied down to his job in corporate America, a job that pays well, but at several costs sacrifices his peace, sleep, and sanity. His life, like millions of others, revolves around materialism in order to fill a void and become complete. However, he eventually realizes that this translates to an inauthentic, artificial, and hollow, empty life. A huge part of the narrator's job is traveling all around the country, and you would think that having a job that allows you to travel frequently is living the life, or at least miles better than sitting behind the desk all day. But that isn't the case. The narrator hates it, and at one time wishes the plane he is on crashes to end his existence. At this point, we see that he hates his life, specifically this never-ending loop that he is living in. Add to the fact that he also suffers from insomnia, making his existence even more miserable. During a flight, he meets someone named Tyler Durden, an outgoing man who, unlike the narrator, appears to be detached from society and wanders Earth as if he is a lone wolf. They are polar opposites, and it is later revealed that they are the same person, in that Tyler is a creation of the narrator's imagination, probably caused by the narrator's insomnia and his urge to find meaning in his life. However, despite how important this reveal is in the entire scope of the movie, for the purposes of this video, I want to focus on Tyler Durden's role in helping the narrator find his purpose that helps him cope with the never-ending, soulless loop that he was living in. There's a saying that goes, "No one can judge you better than yourself." Take a look in the mirror to point out your flaws and try to fix it or accept it. This saying reigns true throughout Fight Club, because although the narrator and Tyler have different personalities, they are one of the same, two sides of the same coin, literally. And Tyler is a reflection of everything the narrator wants to be, and ultimately is the best person to give him constructive criticism about his miserable life. An example of this in the movie is where the narrator finds out that his apartment went up in flames. When this happens, he meets up with Tyler for solace and to vent out his frustration. The narrator complains about losing his furniture and his almost perfect wardrobe in the fire. Here we see that the narrator is attached to material possessions. But aren't we all? Tyler responds to that by stating, "F off with your sulfur units and strine green stripe patterns." This shows us Tyler's hatred for material assets and how that doesn't matter to him. Because Tyler and the narrator are the same person, this is what the narrator thinks and wants to be like, but for some reason is unable to in that current period of time. To show you how much Tyler hates capitalism and this idea of working a job to buy material assets, Tyler goes on to state in the movie, "Reject the basic assumptions of civilization, especially the importance of material possessions." Tyler's view of the world reminds me of a quote by the author Ellen J. Barrier, in which she says this, "Happiness is never found in materialistic things. It exists in things that cannot be physically possessed. Therefore, happiness is priceless. It can never be purchased." And I completely agree with that quote. I had a debate with my friend once, and it was about whether a job can count as a material thing. I was of the opinion that it could. This is because people attach and measure their value to their high-paying jobs, whether they are lawyers, doctors, stockbrokers, bankers, and in turn, it becomes a material thing where you can put a price on. If you're earning $100,000 a year, you're going to believe that your existence and value is worth $100,000. Should you solely measure your value on the high-paying 9-to-5 job that you work? Is this truly what you were put on earth for and what your purpose is? If you answered yes, then you admit that you are a conformist adapting your lifestyle to societal expectations. The problem in allowing your job to measure your value is that you are allowing something and someone to dictate your purpose in this life. Yes, everyone has to work to earn a living, but it is the essence of making work the sole purpose of your existence that is the problem. It is the obsession of working long hours to get that promotion, to get that bonus, to get that gold watch, that gold chain, and that car that is the very core problem. It's even more depressing when you think of it like this. You came into this world with nothing, and you are leaving this world with nothing. You can't take all your material assets and your job with you. Upon the realization of this revelation, Tyler and the narrator begin to form their purpose. Later down the line, this becomes known as Fight Club, a club where men come together to fight one another. The origins of Fight Club begins by Tyler Durden asking the narrator to hit him as hard as he can. It then transpires to a full-on fight. After the scruffle, both express their delight in wanting to do it again. Doing it again and again attracts the attention of other working men expressing their interest in joining in. From here on, Fight Club is born. The misconception about Fight Club is that it's a bunch of angry men who hate the world and seek to inflict pain on others as they can't do it in normal circumstances. I disagree. Fight Club is a purpose that these men attach themselves to. It allows them to detach themselves from the jobs they work, all the material things that they buy and own, to something more organic, something more purposeful, and something that gives you memories that you can take to the grave with. Fight Club being the purpose that these men live for could not be even more fitting. The aggression, physical fights, and violence resonates well with our biological makeup. Take away all the luxuries in our lives, the companies, the fast food restaurants, entertainment, and we are left in our pure human state. Humans that will physically fight other humans for resources, and originally that was our purpose, survival. But in the 21st century, we don't have to do any of that anymore. We have everything we need to live comfortable lives. We have all these fast food chains, all these streaming networks that drop a whole series of episodes all in one go, countless entertainment and high-paying jobs. We don't need to kill each other anymore for survival. We don't need to fight each other anymore for survival. But still, we are not happy. Why is that? The reason is because we have lost our original purpose, and have not replaced it with another that is adequate, another that allows us to form wonderful memories that we can take with us to our graves. Instead, our purpose lies in our jobs, which have become a part of our self and identity, and why we feel so empty. There's more to life than making money to emulate your favorite gold chain wearing rappers or buying fancy cars. This is what I got out of Fight Club, which is the importance of having a purpose that drives you in life and keeps you happy, and understanding that slaving your way in a 9-to-5 job is no way to live and should never form the core parts of our purpose. You won't find happiness in your job, your diamonds, and your big house. You find it in what you truly love. So rather than obsessing over your material goods or crying over your job, focus on a different aspect of life that can make you happy, and that's by finding your purpose. A purpose to me is something that is virtually impossible to be valued by money. This could be helping people, or even being a part of a club or society. This is the true message and philosophy of Fight Club. How does one find their purpose? That's a question that only you can answer, because no one knows you better than yourself, even if you are a crazy insomniac.